And today we are back with February's final issue of Imperium Magazine issue 3. We're back up to $13.95, just like issue 2. I believe going forward that's going to be the price for each issue. So it's a price jump from the first issue. I guess the incentive is get you hooked cheap. So let's crack this one open and see what we've got inside. And I'll try to crinkle the plastic less than previous videos so that doesn't mess with the audio. So let's open it up. Okay, that one opened up smoother than previous issues. So here we've got 3 bases and we've got 3 assault intercessors, which are the push fit, easy to build ones, just like the 3 Necron warriors from last week. These are nice. I believe they were also included in Indomitus. I think a lot of these are reused from the Indomitus box. As I've said in previous videos, I never actually got Indomitus, so it's cool to have these. Actually, these may not be from Indomitus. They have the molded shoulder icons for fast attack or close assault and Ultramarines logos. So these actually, I believe, come in the Citadel paint set with these 3 guys and 5 or 6 pots of paint. So for the $13.95 price tag, these 3 miniatures and a pot of paint, which will probably run you about $4 or $5, kind of, I guess, adds the value there for the issue itself. And we get a pot of Macragge Blue for our Ultramarines. I'll probably myself be sanding down the Ultramarines and these fast attack symbols on the shoulder pads and adding Templar crosses. I have some 3D printed iconography I can use, or if not, I'll just snip off the entire shoulder pad, depending on how easy that might be, and replace them with shoulder pads with the crosses molded on. But these are nice sculpts. I like these. They're very dynamic. They're in running poses. They're all aiming their weapons or waving their chain swords in the air. And they're Primaris miniatures, so they're quite tall, much taller than Firstborn miniatures. So that's a nice inclusion, even though if you're not playing Ultramarines, you might have to do some modification to make them fit in your army. And then aside from that, again, the binding on this isn't great. Some of the pages are already coming off. To keep in mind, the first 3, well, the previous 2 and this 3rd issue had this same problem. Another thing, this is a heftier issue than issue 1, just like issue 2 was. A bit more pages, so more information in there, more stories to read. How to build your miniatures as well, how to use your paint, how to make sure the pot doesn't dry out. At least that's made apparent for you here. This is obviously, as I said in previous videos, geared towards the very beginners. So here we see, again, just like with the Necron Warriors, using the paint pot that comes in the issue, in the magazine, to paint directly onto the plastic with no primer, which is an interesting choice, but again, this is geared towards the beginning of beginners. And here we see another scenario that you're able to play out with the battle mat in the first issue, it seems. So that's another welcome addition. I'll be trying out this 3rd little battle scenario as well. Space Marine Assault Intercessors just rushing into some Necron Warriors while they get shot at. So we'll try that out and see who wins. And there you have it. I'll go ahead and get these cleaned up, built up. I may or may not sand down the shoulder pads and add that Templar's iconography to them for this video, but we'll take a look at that and we'll be back with these built up. We're back with our 3 easy to build intercessors snapped together. This is going to be the contents for miniatures and paint for Imperium Magazine issue 3. We've got our 3 Assault Intercessors and our pot of Macragge Blue. These also, I had previously said, were likely from the Indomitus box. I don't believe that that's actually correct, because they have the molded detail on the shoulder pads with the Ultramarines iconography on the left for the chapter badge and the close support or fast attack cross symbol on the right shoulder pad, molded in, which is nice molded detail if you do play Ultramarines. I don't, so before I paint these up, I'm likely going to either try to snip off some of those shoulder pads and replace them with Black Templar shoulder pads, convert these guys, or just sand the shoulder pads flat and either use some of my third-party bits for the Maltese cross on the shoulder pad, or some water slides after painting them up. So I'm gonna go ahead and have to make those decisions later. But if you do play Ultramarines, these are perfect. They've got all the multi-detail for Ultramarines. I haven't glued these together and they hold together pretty well. I believe on one of them the head is a little loose, so if you move the miniature you might feel it or hear it rattle a little bit, but that's not much of an issue. These actually, I believe, originally came from the painting introductory box from Games Workshop, which is these 3 miniatures and a set of about 5 or 6 pots of paint and maybe a brush, which they've been doing for years, with old push fits as well. The old monopose Marines with the bolter across their body, where you just stick that on and stick on the backpack, and that came with I believe it was 9 paints back then, but that was in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. So this is the modern version of that, just included in Imperium Magazine in issue 3. So you get 3 Marines. So in the first issue, we've got our 2 HQs for the Marine, 1 Marine HQ and 1 Necron HQ. Issue 2, we have our 3 Necron Warriors, and then issue 3, we have our 3 Assault Intercessors. So it's a little force of 1 leader and 3 dudes, and an opposing force of 1 leader and 3 dudes to play a little bit of a scenario with. Again, I've said repeatedly in these videos, the at least first 3 issues of Imperium Magazine have been very geared towards beginners, people just joining this hobby. So these are all good things to have. HQ, a couple troops, things like that. And we'll see what comes in next month's issues. One thing is, I did receive an email from Agora Collections that March's issues will be slightly delayed due to some logistics issues. I'm not sure the exact details. They were supposed to start shipping out now towards the end of February, but they'll be shipping out closer towards the second week of March, which is a little unfortunate, but that's fine. We have those to look forward to, and some more miniatures, and I believe more paint coming in each of those issues. So I'm excited to see the value there. But again, these are nice miniatures. All these new Primaris sculpts and the new Necron refresh is very nice sculpts, so they're nice to have. And it's good conversion fodder, and if you're new to the hobby, it's a good way to pick up some miniatures, practice painting, get a few pots of paint for relatively cheap compared to buying some of the $50 or $60 boxes of dudes and working on those. Well, there you have it. This is Imperium Magazine issue 3. Aside from the delays, I'm looking forward to the next several issues. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.